Hey guys, I just want to start things off with saying thank you so much for purchasing my Cincinnati Bengals defensive ebook. This is what I'm running online right now. I'm using it in Weekend League. I have been for about 3 to 4 weeks. I've been going 23-2, 24-1 consistently with this defense. It's really, really good. A lot of people are running a similar type of defense online, but this is exactly what I do, what my adjustments are, and how I am winning games online. I'm going to teach you guys today a few different setups to both a couple of the most popular formations. The reason why we're in Bengals because we have 3-3-5 normal, big nickel over G. If you're a purchaser of the is that a word? A purchaser of the 4-6 normal Jacksonville Jaguars ebook, this is compatible with that. You can still use 4-6 normal. I still do occasionally hop in a 4-6 normal. And then we also have 4-3 normal and we have nickel normal. So 5 very powerful formations out of the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to be focusing on 3-3-5 normal, which you're going to see a lot online, as well as big nickel over G. A lot of things to go through today. The reason why this is such a, I think this ebook's going to retail for about $19.99. The reason why is because it's so easy to run, but yet it is so effective. It's going to be very, very good defense for you online, no matter who you're playing. Whether you're playing your friend next to you, trying to win CFMs, or trying to win weekend league games, no matter what you're doing, I promise you, you're going to be able to get the job done. We're also going to go through how I defend the 2 most popular formations in the game, gun bunch weak and trips tight end, both out of Patriots playbook. So on offense, right here, we have Patriots playbook. I'm just going to set up my audibles the way I would with Pat's playbook right here. And first time I clicked right bumper, it didn't work. But yeah, so we're going to face gun bunch weak for the setups. And then after we go through all of the defenses, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how I defend each of the particular formations and then how I defend the run out of this playbook. So we're going to get right into it. 3-3-5 normal. Thank you so much for purchasing. Again, we're going to get into the defense. First off, one of the best things about 3-3-5 normal that makes it so glitchy is you can get safeties in at linebacker very easily. For some reason, Steve Atwater's already subbed in. Legitimately, he is. But we want to get the most physical safeties we could possibly have at our linebacker position. So I'm going to sub in Ed Reed and Paul Krause. That's just who we have out here. I mean, I guess I would honestly try to get like Brian Dawkins and Ronnie Lott into there in Mutt. You want people like Sean Taylor, Jamal Adams, Cam Chancellor, those guys, as well as somebody very physical at this position too, because we're going to be blitzing this Rod Woodson slot corner spot very often. But just basically go get yourself some physical linebackers. If you're in regs or if you're in a CFM that doesn't allow you to put DBs or safeties at linebacker, that's okay. If you're in regs, you don't have all that depth that you would in Mutt. Fast linebackers will work. I would just prefer to have safeties right here because we're going to be manning them up and playing them in coverage pretty much exclusively, honestly. And it's one of the best parts about 3-3-5 normal is that you get that option of getting those safeties at linebacker. It's really glitchy. It's extremely powerful. Highly recommend. Now, this is a balanced pass defense when we run 3-3-5 normal. We are looking to defend somebody that's looking to air the ball out. If they're trying to run the ball, if they come out in 2 tight end, I'm not going to call 3-3-5 normal. This is a 1 tight end, 3 wide out, 1 running back type of defense, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I do out of it. So we have literally 8 defensive backs out on the field. That's the way I run it in Mutt. And then I want 3 really good pass rushers. So somebody like Reggie White is fine. I want Lawrence Taylor for sure pass rushing. I want someone fast, someone like Myles Garrett, Julius Peppers right here at this D tackle spot. Then I want another really good edge rusher. DeMarcus Ware would be a good one right here at the defensive end spot. So that's what it's going to look like right here. Again, personnel, it's kind of important. A lot of people, I feel like, get a little bit too caught up on personnel, though. So, yeah, just definitely run what you're comfortable with and run your favorite players if you're in Mutt. Try to use your favorite guys. That is what Mutt is about. But regardless, we're going to get into 3-3-5 normal. I'm going to call Tampa 2 almost every single play. Make sure your auto flip is off. Turn your auto flip off. Turn your auto flip off. Some people will recommend to run it on. It is much simpler for this tutorial for us to learn it with it off. That's just my opinion. I always have it off. Anyway, we're going to run Tampa 2 almost exclusively. With some of the defenses, don't worry, you can still, with the shed D, you can still call, for instance, cover 3 cloud or cover 4 drop. You can call those, just we're not going to be covering that. What I want is for me to be calling one play, but have about 8, 9, 10 different setups out of it, and my opponent not have a clue how I'm adjusting behind it. Because keep in mind, after the play, he's going to see, oh, he ran Tampa 2, he's in cover 2. How am I going to beat this? No, I didn't. I changed it to cover 3 cloud, or I changed it so I have a 5th person blitzing, or I changed it in a different manner with cross man on my safeties. Whatever it may be, I don't want them to get any sort of tell except for what happens during the play. So we're going to run tip of 2 here against this gun bunch weak formation. I am going to move it back to the 50 and move it to the left hash mark so the bunch is on the wide side. Again, we're facing Pat Sale, one of the most powerful plays in the game, and a setup people would run online would look kind of like this. So everything we go against, we're just going to be running it against, the most popular offense in the game. So starting things off, 3-3-5 normal. We've got our personnel. We've got our auto flip off. We are ready. First off, this is going to be our user position right here. I user Sean Taylor and Mutt. You can user people like Anthony Barr, linebacker that you want. You can use user Van Der Esch. You can user Jamal Adams. I just want a lot of speed, someone really physical. The more speed, the better. The more height, the better. So this is the spot. Also, for every single setup, I blitz my user. It does not mean that I blitz with them and run. I am going to still lurk with them. Basically, Madden 19 has a bug where auto strafe tends to be on for people even when you set it off. If you blitz, you won't ever find yourself strafing and walking around. Ooh, I'm doing adjustments that I don't want to do, and doing stuff that and waddling around slowly, strafing, shuffling. If you blitz them, you're going to run full speed no matter what you're doing. That's why I blitz my user the majority of the time. But let's get into this first setup. This is about as stock as you can get, what I'm going to run the majority of the time. Now, most of the time you can still base align optionally. That's Y then left on the right stick, or sorry, Y then right on the left stick. It's not a part of the tutorial. And again, all the written parts of these setups are in the PDF for both Xbox and PS4 users. But we're going to go through everything here as well. So to start things off, I've already got my user. Now I'll just go back to the stock and I'll go through what we do with you guys. So first you're going to shift your D line up. That's left bumper, and then up on the left stick is that spread there. Unfortunately, in practice mode, it doesn't shift, so you have to move them out. I'm going to do that every time. It's unfortunate. It will do it in MUT. You need to be spreading that D-line. Next, we're going to crash the D-line up. So it's the same modifier, left bumper for the D-line, and we're just going to click slant outside. That's right stick up. Now, there's our pass rush angles. You can kind of see it's going to get really, really glitchy pass rush. And then we are going to grab the slot corner and drag him right behind this left of screen linebacker. Basically, what we're doing is we're disguising the blitz that we're going to be calling in the next defense. This is super, super good to do. He blitzes very well out of that position. Next up, we're going to QB spy that player. So while you're dragging him, you can just click A and then click left on the right stick. It puts him in a QB spy, this little orange thing right here. I like having a QB spy out on the field because everybody has Vic and Mutt. So I try to always have a QB spy so my opponent can't easily scramble. Then I'm going to blitz my user, which is A and down on the right stick. Now, again, if you didn't do the QB spy when you're moving him over, there is an adjustment. You just have to quick adjust your linebacker. It's right bumper twice, X, and then left on the right stick. But this is the most simple. Ooh, whoa, hold up, never mind. I'm not, whoa, I choked that. I adjusted my linebacker, not the slot corner. I want to adjust the slot corner. It's Y twice, Y again for Woodson, and then it's going to be left on the right stick right there, QB spy, to put him in this little spy right here. So regardless, you don't have to worry about that. We're moving him. I just do the spy when I get him to right here. I click A, left on the right stick. Beautiful, he's in the spy. So this is the stock setup, and then I blitz my user with A and down on the right stick. This is what it looks like, and I'll just kind of show you what it would look like if they're running, just so you can look at the pass, or so you can look at the pass rush. Again, I'm blocking 6. I'm just going to send out Tomlinson just to show it against 5 blocked. See if we can get a good rush. And we get a huge monster pass rush on the right side with Lawrence Taylor. He gets in pretty much instantly. And that's Willie Roaf that he's going against, a really good right tackle. I also accidentally, because I was using, it's hard to control both controllers, blitzed with Paul Krause, and he came down here and touched this Steve Hutchinson position. Anyway, regardless, we lurk the middle of the field with our user. That's what we're doing. So that's setup 1. Really simple. Basically, you have cloud flats out on the field. If they want to check down, they can throw underneath all game. Unfortunately, you're going to have to adjust to start stopping people who want to throw to the flats, and that's okay. I even mentioned that. All you got to do is play underneath. That's Y, and then down on the right stick, you're going to play hard flats, or you can individually adjust. Like right there, I have a cloud on the left and a hard on the right. That's with quick adjustments. We're not going to go over that super exclusively. You can figure it out, or click on, put them in a hard flat. See, there's the option there. Hard flat left on the left stick. A few things, but if you want to do the simple route, Y, down on the right stick, plays underneath. And now we have hard flats out there. So if you look, Just watch how they play the flat to Tony Gonzalez. I can't really throw that ball, or else getting picked off, or definitely not getting caught in that situation. Dion ends up playing it. So that's a more aggressive way if you're looking to run this stock setup and you don't want people to continuously dink and dunk their way underneath. That's a good thing to do, play hard flats, but we're not going to be doing that for that setup. Second setup with this look right here, we're going to be looking into, oh, excuse me, gotta get my place. Yeah, unfortunately, hold up, one second. Did I not save my PDF document? I'll scream. Oh, okay, I found out what I did. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So setup 2, we're going to come into the same thing. We're in Tampa 2 again. And we're simply going to play a little bit safer of coverage, because with this setup, with the 2 safeties right here, they can bomb you right up the middle. I can kind of show you exactly what that'd look like. It kind of looked like if you verted and... Sorry, max protect. If you ruin verts with like Rice on a streak, or with Gonzalez on a streak, kind of like this, and then if you left the middle of the field, you can kind of bomb with Rice right up the gut. I'll show you what that would look like. Oh, sorry, with Gonzalez right here. And actually, we're going to get pass rush, and he ends up man matching. But you notice the safeties don't really end up playing there. So this next setup, we're going to try to be a little bit safer, and it's probably the safest defense in all of the playbook. We're going to be putting this spot right here, Ed Reed, into a deep blue. So it's the same exact setup. Fortunately, I have to move out our DBs to move out our D ends every single time. But this is the setup right here, something like this. And now you'll notice if I go to bomb this coverage, that deep blue is just going to end up playing the middle of the field. Notice we're getting pass rush every single time with Lawrence Taylor on that right side. So we've got a deep blue now to be able to hopefully try to protect against getting bombed. You can scoot it back if you need to, if they have a really good coverage beater. My coverage beater out of Y-Off Trio that's in my offensive playbook is very good. It will beat a deep blue in the middle, but most people don't have a coverage beater like that. The one that I have is just, honestly, it's really good. It's lucky I have it in my formation. So that's setup 2. It's literally the exact same, except for now we were putting Ed Reed in that deep blue. Again, we're just building off of these setups. So coming into setup 3 now, we're going to, again, we're user and Paul Krause. We're going to set up the exact same way. And I'm spreading out Ware and Taylor. I have to say that every time. You do not have to click onto them. And we got a spy there. And now we're putting Reed in that deep blue, except the only difference here is we're going to start cross-manning this right of screen linebacker position at Water on a player on the right side of the field. So we're going to man him up like on Owens right here. So that will take away drags, slants, crossing patterns, whatever it may be. He's going to cover them much better, and now we don't have to worry about getting hit with a crossing pattern because he's likely going to play it. Now, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of you guys are going to say, like, I can't set this up in time because I'm kind of going it a little slowly. You have 8 seconds till your opponent gets to the line. If they're quick hiking you, I guess they're quick hiking. They're probably not a super skilled opponent. If they aren't quick hiking you, you have even more time, likely about 12 to 13 seconds to get in every adjustment. I can get in every one of these adjustments in probably like 5 seconds. I could literally set it up where it's just me scooting them out and something like that, and it's unfortunately screwing up. Oops, I choked it anyway. Something like that. You can set it up relatively quickly. They're coming to the line. You have plenty of time. I'm showing it. I show it in all my game plays. Something you guys don't need to worry about. You just need to get used to having that sort of muscle memory with the defense that you're running. Unfortunately, when you factor in dragging Woodson, that does take a little bit more time, but it's just a risk that it's something you need to keep doing because that's what we're going to send. When we do end up blitzing 5, we're going to send Rod Woodson from that spot. I don't want to give away a tell on this defense. So anyway, apologize for that little spiel, but basically the same setup is we're doing this, except now we're going to cross man this this left of, did I scoot these guys out? I did actually. We're going to cross man this left of screen linebacker at Water. That's right bumper twice, X, up on the right stick, and now I can play him in man coverage on literally anybody on the field. So I'm going to do it on Owens, that's B, and notice now he's in man coverage right there. So that's perfect. Yeah, and if I showed a setup like Pat Sale, this Gonzalez is going to end up getting open, but I'll just show you how well that Owens is going to get played, and all I have to do is just cover this crossing pattern right there. So that's simply how I defend Pat Sale. I'm just trying to man up that B route. You can play hard flats. You can do really whatever after that. You just need to make sure B's manned up and you're using that post. Once we get into setup 4 here, I'll kind of show you exactly what it looks like to defend Pat Sale without really even needing to use or anything. I can lurk the flat even. So basically what we're going to do is same setup again. We're building off of the setup prior. Is we're shifting that D-line out. Unfortunately, I have to scoot him out. We're crashing up. We're bringing Woodson back here, putting him in a spy, and we're manning up both both linebackers in cross man. The way we're doing this with Reed is the exact opposite. We're just clicking right bumper twice, A, up on the right stick, and then Moss on the left. He is X, I want X for the icon to man him up. And then I did the same thing with Atwater with X, or right bumper twice, X, up on the right stick, B. That is what I'm doing. I'm blitzing my user A down on the right stick. This is a really, really good setup for us to be able to stop Pat Sale. You want a little bit of an extra little glitchy thing to do? I would pass commit if I think they're passing, left trigger up on the right stick, and then I would shade inside, Y and right on the right, or left on the right stick. That is going to help play your crossman, or it's going to help your crossman play better. It's something I didn't really realize until later in the year, just how much better crossman plays if you do shade the correct way. And we notice with a setup like Pat Sale, something like this. Again, this is kind of the stock setup we were talking about. I'm going to try to show it with 2 hands. I'm going to lurk Gonzalez down below, and notice that the post route and the crossing pattern are both going to be covered. So I'm just going to cover Gonzalez, who's right here. And whoa, hold up. Did my man coverage switch? Atwater was on. No, it didn't. Nope, never mind. They must have gotten bumped or something. I'll do this again for you guys. Unfortunately, I hate that I have to move this out in practice mode. Something like this. And I'm going to shade inside, pass commit, and now I have to set up the Pat Sale setup. I'm going to watch Reed here. He shouldn't have. I must have bumped him or something. On the snap here, and there we go. That's much better. He actually ended up getting burnt again in that same spot. So we're going to maybe need to use her that Pat Sale route because that is just going to burn it. I use her almost every time. I don't want to trust cross man. Even this safety position, if you cross man it with like Dawkins, sometimes it'll burn it. It might be the speed difference between. Oh, Reed's probably fast enough. I haven't had a problem covering that post. I'm a little surprised right now in practice mode. It's burning it, but yeah, I would still cross man. This is still something I love to do because especially, let's say he wasn't even, let's say they're running curl flat or something like that. And now we're cross-manning a couple guys. And even if we were expecting Pat Sale, I hate that I have to do this, something like that, we're going to be defending, it's curl flat here, and I'm going to recognize it instantly that it's not Pat Sale. They snap. And look at the X drag is going to be covered. I'm just covering right bumper here now. The X drag's covered. Even if they complete it, he's tackled instantly. They might gain 3 or 4 yards maximum. It's really good to have crossman out on the field. It takes away drags, takes away crossers, takes away posts, takes away hitches, playmakers, everything. Crossman's really good this year. I highly recommend you utilize this setup 4 because it is very, very good. Again, one more time. It's just the same as all the other setups, except now we are cross-manning our linebackers, kind of like this. So, set it up with Pat Sale again. I am just going to be shocked if it burns it again, because I have played... There he played it. Look at that. There he bagged it. He played it perfectly. I don't understand regs right now, practice mode. Regardless, that's the setup. That is setup 4 right there. Very powerful. Highly recommend you implement that. And again, you start off with the general setup. You work your way through setup 4 with this shed D, this 3-man blitz. Work your way through it. Start off simple. Get more intricate as we go. Trust me, you have plenty of time in the 8 seconds to come up to the line. 8 seconds is a very long time. Just to show you how long 8 seconds is, I'll do my setup very slowly, and I'm cheating here because I'm gonna move them out, but I'll still crash up or spread them, and I'll just show you how much time I have to make adjustments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is plenty of time for a simple setup like this. Plenty of time, and that involves an intricate setup with moving Woodson. I'm literally clicking off my user and moving him, and I still had time to do it with 2 extra seconds if they hiked me at the second they got to the line. That's plenty of time, guys. Plenty of time. I promise you guys are going to get that down. So we're going to get into the blitz now that really makes 3-3-5 go. This is what is my favorite part about the whole blitz, or about 3-3-5, is this blitz. We're going to really manipulate the AI here. So first off, I base align this almost every single time. I might already be base aligned. I can't tell. No. Okay, so this is stock right here. This is what it'll look like. I'm going to base align. That's Y, and then right on the left stick. Basically brings your defenders to a stock positioning every single time, no matter the formation that you're playing against. And then same thing. I'm shifting the D-line up. I've already dragged him out in practice mode. I hate that I have to do it. I'm crashing up. I'm going to drag my slot corner to that same spot. I'm just not going to spy him. I just want him to be right about here, anywhere behind that linebacker. And this is going to expose the AI. The AI is going to have much more trouble picking up that blitzer if you have him stacked behind the linebacker. It's crazy. I promise. It is wild. And then next up, I'm going to QB spy this right of screen linebacker. So you can either click onto him, click A, and put him in a spy like we usually do, or you can click right bumper twice, A, and then left on the right stick. That puts him in a QB spy. Now I'm going to end up. Is this actually okay? Sorry, I have to make sure I'm in the general setup first. I'm going to blitz my user because I do that every single time. And now right when the ball is snapped, this is crucial, right when the ball is snapped, I have to click the right stick in. That sends the QB spy at the quarterback. If you guys didn't know that, if you're test it in practice mode, roll out and with the second controller, click the right stick in, and the nearest defender will go after the QB. But we're not using it for the purpose it's intended to. We're using it more to manipulate the AI. The CPU will have much more trouble picking up this blitzer, rather if he's in a spy rather than if he was blitzed like that. So if we put him in a spy and then send him by clicking the right stick in the second the ball is snapped, I'll show it to you guys here. It's going to have a much better time getting in. It's going to be much more successful. So since I'm kind of using 2 controllers, I'm just going to put my user in a hook, move him back here, and then what am I going to do? I'm just going to send out like 5 routes here, motion out. I have to time this with 2 hands. Snap, send with the right stick, and look at Ed Reed. And we actually come flying through with Woodson on the left. Did you see Woodson? Woodson comes screaming right past Rofe. Not Rofe. That's Ogden on the left side. Literally stared at him. Even though Ed Reed got picked up, when Ed Reed's going to come in more often than Woodson. Woodson came through untouched. Hot. 5 people. We still have 6 people in coverage. 5 with a user. And it just came in flying. So I'm going to set this up again for you guys, something that looks like this, and I'm sending out 5 routes. I can show it's 6 after too. It still will come in occasionally, and I just have to time this, snap the ball, click the right stick in, boom, comes Ed Reed right off the right edge, and he's straight in. That's how good this blitz is. It is going to wreak havoc on your opponents. Remember to lurk the middle of the field. Right now we have fewer people in coverage, but that's okay. We have plenty of people still. We have 6 still, 5 plus a user. That is how good this blitz is. So that's the general setup. Get that down, and now we can start getting into stuff that's a little bit crazier. So setup 2, which is there are only 3 for this one, but you can still implement things from the other defense into this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor in this with a cross man now. So again, if someone's playing or running pat sail, running crossing patterns, that type of stuff, we're going to cross man this at water position on someone on the right to try to take away an extra route more easily rather than just having a vert hook sitting out there hoping it plays something. So we're going to do the same setup, baseline, spread D-line, have to move them out, crash D-line up. I'm moving Woodson to right here. Again, I'm not doing anything. I just leave him literally on his blitz, kind of more right here actually. And then I'm going to spy Ed Reed with the same thing, right bumper twice, A, and then left on the right stick. Now we're doing the crossman that we talked about in the previous setup by putting this at water position into man coverage. It's right bumper twice to alter my linebackers, X up on the right stick, and then I want him on, let's say, Owens right now. And we have our setup. I'm going to blitz my user 2, and I'm just lurking in the middle of the field. Unfortunately, 2 hands. I'm just going to zone him out so he doesn't affect the blitz. I'm probably going to do it with, let's do it with a 6-man setup, kind of against a stock pat sail, and see if it'll come in. It's going to be a little less consistent against 6 people, but it should come in still pretty hot and pretty frequently in MUT. So I'm going to do this. Snap the ball, click the right stick in. Do I come in? We do. We actually come flying with Woodson. Woodson didn't get touched. And at the same time, Lawrence Taylor just got a shed. that quickly because we still have the shed D. It's just sending 2 extra people. So the shed angles are still just as good. Lawrence Taylor got in before Woodson, but Woodson didn't even get touched from back there. And that's incredible because that's sending 5 people versus 6 people blocked. That's how good this is. So that's setup 2. And then we get into setup 3. Setup 3 is a little bit that I talked about in my free video, Most Frustrating Coverage Defense, where we're changing from a cover 2 shell to more of a cover 3. And we're going to play some hard flats with it. It's a little bit more of an aggressive style defense, and I like that. So here we go. We're going to base a line. We've talked about that. We're spreading the D-line up. Again, in practice mode, I have to move them out. You do not have to do it in MUT. I'm going to say it every single time before I get a trillion questions about it. You do not have to move them out in MUT. They will move out on their own, or in regs or anything other than practice mode. Then we're going to crash them up, left bumper up on the right stick. I'm moving Woodson to right here. And now is where we're going to get a little bit, oh, sorry. We got a spy read to right bumper twice, A, left on the right stick, okay? There's our setup. Now is where we're going to get a little bit more crazy with our setup. So we're going to change this to a cover 3. And the first way that I'm going to do it to be the safest is putting my left side cornerback. I think it's, who is it? It's Aeneas Williams here. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. We're going to put him in a deep quarter. I like deep quarters best. You could put him in a third as well, but I like deep quarters the best in this situation. I feel like they play corner routes, crossers, everything better than thirds. They're just a little bit more liable to getting beaten over top. I'm okay with that. That's Y twice to alter my secondary, X, and then left on the right stick puts him in a deep quarter. Now he's playing back there. So now we're kind of doubling up with Lot. So we got to put him in a zone more in the middle to make this kind of more of a cover 3 cloud look. What I'm going to do to get him in the middle is a YY, left bumper, and then left on the left stick puts him in an inside third. We now have a cover 3 shell, basically a cover 3 deep shell, and we're going to put our left of screen linebacker in a flat. That's right bumper twice, kind of like we talked about. X for Atwater. And then I'm going to put him, it's 2 options. You can either put him in a curl flat, which is right on the left stick, or a hard flat, which is right on the right stick. Either way, we're going to get the same outcome. I'm just going to put him in a curl flat to show you guys. So now we have a purple there and a cloud on the right. Finally, we're going to play underneath coverage, which is Y, and then down on the right stick to play underneath. Now we have hard flats on both sides. That's what I mean. So I can do the same thing, say Atwater's right there in a mid read, right bumper twice X, and put him in a hard right away. Or I can just put him in a curl flat. I'm more comfortable doing the curl flat than playing underneath. That's just the way I do it. If I want to play clouds over top, I can play Y over top, up on the right stick, kind of like that. I can play back underneath. It's a simple adjustment. And yeah, then I'm going to blitz my user, and I'm going to lurk the middle of the field. I'm not going to do that right now, but against a setup like Pat Sale again, we don't have any crossmen, so we really have to rely on our lurk and getting heat in on the QB, but they won't be able to check down very easily with this setup. So I'm going to snap, right stick in, and I'm covering, and we didn't get any sort of heat actually until Ed Reed actually finally came free off the right side. But we didn't get a good shed, and Woodson got picked up as well as Reed did initially. We actually didn't give them much time, but to be fair, we're sending 5 people against 6 blocked. It's supposed to not come in. Regardless, when it does, your opponent's going to get sacked, and he's going to be on his butt very quickly, and that's why I love this defense. So that's 3-3-5 normal. A lot of things you can do. We just gave you 8 setups out of 3-3-5 normal that are going to dominate your opponent. Mix them in. Start off with the general setups for both the first one, for the 3-man rush, and the general setup for the 5-man blitz. Start off with those, and then start to build off it. And then you're going to notice, hey, I can just write off intuitively, and that's why I hate that I can't. Something like this, right here, I'm back to my 3-man setup, or 5-man setup, but maybe I want to do cross man with a 3-man shell, or with a cover 3 shell like this. I can play hard flats. I can just take this, I can take this right side of the field, or left side of the field, kind of like this with Kraus, and just use her that left side. That's my assignment now. And now when he snaps, shoot, I threw the wrong. I'm clicking it's tough with 2 controllers. And then I'm lurking that left side because the left side's uncovered. You're going to get used to it as long as you're starting to get these quick adjustments down. Don't be afraid. At least in my Madden experience in Madden 17 in about October, I started to learn quick adjustments. And by about December or November, mid-November, I had them down pretty much easily. I was quick adjusting essentially perfectly. You pick them up a lot quicker than you think you're going to. So just highly recommend you just get out of your comfort zone and start trying to do it rather than clicking on to a million people to make your adjustments kind of like that. And I'm clicking all over the place. Who knows? I might get clicked onto anybody at the snap if I get quick hiked. I just recommend that you start trying to... Wow, we just hummed. Oh my gosh. I guess we were sending out 5 routes, but we didn't even get touched. I was just messing around there. Anyway, that spy blitz very, very critical. Mix it in with the 3-man shed D and change your coverage. Adjust to your opponent, fellas. Now we're going to get into big nickel here. So let me get to my place because, again, I'm covering a lot. So we're going to talk a little bit about big nickel, and I'll do it this time against Trips tight end. Big nickel is much more of a balanced defense. It's going to stop the run a lot better than 3-3-5 odd, where 3-3-5 odd, you kind of have to shoot gaps. And if you man people up, if you click the right stick in the second the ball is snapped, it's going to play the run better. But big nickel, you're going to have a much easier time just stopping the run without really trying. The great thing about big nickel, again, you can get linebackers in at both, safeties in at both linebackers. So I'm going to put in Ed Reed and put in Paul Krause, just 2 people I have on this team. And then at the D-line positions, we have 4 of them. This spot where John Randall is, we're going to be QB spying him almost every single time. So I want someone who's very tall with a lot of speed. Do I have anybody who'd be best? No, not really. So, and it has to be a D-end. So somebody like Michael Strahan, that's a really good one. He's tall. He's got a lot of speed. Put him in this position. And then we also want a D-end who's very, very fast at this position, or a D-tackle who's fast like Alan Page, another good one at this spot. This Legends team doesn't have many options, actually, so we're just going to use Alan Page there. I use Myles Garrett at this position and Julius Peppers at the spy position. Then we're going to have, Lawrence Taylor's a good one there. Kevin Green, sure. That's what this defense looks like. Our user here is going to be the slot cornerback, or this slot safety is an in-the-box safety. I user this position now. So I'm not using one of the linebacker positions like previously. I'm using the slot position. I feel like you get really, really good speed if you user this in-the-box safety position. I just love doing it. So that's what we're going to do. Again, we have auto flip off. And this formation might even be better for a little bit lower skilled players, for newer players, because you can call essentially any coverage that's here, like cover 2, cover 4 quarters, cover 6, cover 2 man, cover 3 match, don't call cover 4 palms unless you know what you're doing. You can call a bunch of different coverages out here without really doing way too many adjustments. Where I do cover 2 every time still. The blitz is still the same. The shed D is still the same no matter who you have, no matter what coverage you choose. So you can choose, if you want to play cover 3, you can choose cover 3 match right here and just play it that way. I just do Tampa 2, cover 2 right here. Just my personal opinion. I run it flipped again. So we're flipping, this one I do run flipped every single time, and that's crucial. If you don't flip this, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be wondering why the blitz never comes in, why the defense sucks. You gotta run it flipped, guys. So we're gonna go against trips tight end here. Just go against PA shot wheel, since that's one of the most popular plays here. Go to the right hash. Trips usually on the left side for people. So this is PA shot wheel. People usually set it up by fading Gonzalez and putting Brown on a hitch. If you're not used to this, don't worry. I'm gonna block Tomlinson too. And that's kind of what it would look like, a setup out of PA shot wheel. But anyway, the general setup, it's a 3-man loop blitz. Basically, we're getting Page to loop around Ogden, the left tackle on this left side here, and really confuse the left guard and left tackle of who they're supposed to block between Taylor and Page. So we're still only sending 3 people. We have a QB spy with Strahan, where previously we were spying Woodson, if you guys remember. We're spying Strahan here, so then Vic can't roll out and do whatever he wants to us. And also spies play drags and play passing lanes actually really, really well this year. It's crazy. It's why I like Julius Peppers and Mutt. But yeah, we're going to get into this big nickel. Pretty darn simple stuff here, though. So Tampa 2 flipped. All we're going to do is crash this D-line up. That's that's the left bumper, and then up on the right stick, it slants outside. Looks like this. Kind of see the blitzing angle on that left side. That's what you want. Then we're going to spy this right of screen defensive tackle. That's left bumper twice, and then left on the right stick. Boom, puts him in a spy. Now we're going to blitz my user because I'm using this position. I like to blitz my user because I feel like it gives me auto strafe. If I don't, you don't have to blitz him. You can continue just using him like this if you don't have an issue, or you think usering's weird, or it's an extra adjustment. I don't really have an issue. And then literally the 4th part of this setup says, yes, it is that simple. It is that simple. This is a professional style defense that is that good. Competitive players are running this blitz right here. Same with 3-3-5 normal, but this is even simpler in my opinion because you don't have to do much to adjust behind it because you have such good coverage back there. This is crazy to me, that this is something that's that good and that tough that people are doing it. And that's why this ebook is so expensive, because of how good big nickel over G and 335 normal are and how simple they are to set up. And yeah, it's incredible. So this is kind of what the setup would look like in the PDF. I moved my user kind of into right here. That's where you're going to see him. And yeah, I can show you a little bit of if the ball gets snapped. We can see how long it ends up taking us to get in. Hopefully Page looped perfectly. Ah, he got picked up by the running back though. So we are blocking 6 and sending 3. We got pretty quick pressure, but Page came in perfectly. I'm just going to send out the running back here just to kind of show what it looks like. I'm kind of upset I had the running back blocked, because Page would have come in perfectly right there. We'll try it again here. Loop, Page, loop. See, okay, so my user ended up blitzing because I wasn't touching my stick. Whatever, I screwed that up. Page, when he loops around, if he gets that correct loop, the CPU basically can't block him. They won't engage him, and if they do, they'll disengage Taylor, where Taylor will come flying in. So this defense is very good, and again, you can run it out of, you can go cover three match here, something like this, and even though if you're on Dawkins here, you'd have to use or someone like Ed Reed. And it's the exact same thing, where I just click left bumper, click up on the right stick, and then left bumper twice A, left on the right stick to put him in a spy. And now I can like play hard flats here if I want to. And it's going to be a relatively similar situation to what we just saw. I'll just set up shot wheel in a really generic setup. And look at Page coming off that left side. He doesn't even get touched. He comes right in. That was in cover 3. So that's what's great about this. You can be really versatile without really having to know your quick adjustments, where, you know, something like putting a cover 3 shell out there like that. You guys may not know how to do that. And in Big Nickel, it's a little bit different than 335 normal. So I'm just not going to get into that. But again, it's just calling the play flip, left bumper up, or left bumper up on the right stick, left bumper twice, left on the right stick. There's the setup, and then you just watch the dude loop around the left side. He doesn't get a good loop there. I'm actually going to have to almost cover this. You know, Lawrence Taylor ends up shedding anyway. Super sick. But yeah, that's the generic setup. Now we're going to get into setup 2, which features crossman that we just talked about and a deep blue out on the field. So we're adding a couple things to this one, but still relatively simple. So I'm going to come back to Dawkins, who I've considered my user. We're going to click left bumper up on the right stick to slant the line outside. We're going to spy that D tackle by doing left bumper A, and then left on the right stick. Now we're going to, I'll just blitz my user since I'm here. And then we're going to cross man either of these linebackers. I'm going to choose to do Kraus. That's right bumper twice, A, up on the right stick, and then I can choose any of these players. If I was facing trips at end, I'd probably do B, Brown, because a lot of people like to put him on a hitch. Out of this PA shot wheel, like the setup I talked about earlier. They put him on a hitch, they playmaker him. That has the best chance of playing a playmaker is if you man it up. I love manning up playmaker positions, so that's honestly just what I would do. And then we're going to deep blue Ed Reed to make this defense a little bit safer, because we talked about getting bombed right through the middle and how we're kind of vulnerable to that without a deep blue in the middle. So I'm going to do right bumper twice, X up on the left stick for the middle third. And that puts him in a deep middle. We now have a relatively safe defense, really safe defense, sorry, with a lot of people are, you know, they could get open, they could dink and dunk us because we have clouds out on the field, but we're in a position right now where our shed D is going to be so good that hopefully we get right in on the QB, and we end up doing that right away. I just have to cover that crossing pattern in the post, take away both at the same time, or lurk it, whatever I'm trying to do. It's a huge mouthful. I'm sorry I'm giving you guys a huge overload of information. That's why we have the PDFs. But that's setup 2 right there. And now we're going to get into setup 3, which is something that features double cross man. So it's kind of similar to the 335 normal, where now I'm just going to double cross man. And yeah, show you guys kind of what I would do against if I faced somebody who was running trip set end. This is kind of a setup that I would have. So I'm going to click, I'm going to slant that line out, spy my D tackle. Now I've got to put these 2 linebackers in cross man. I'll just show you guys how quickly you can start getting at this. Remember, you adjust the linebackers by clicking right bumper twice. You're going to click the icon of the linebacker you want, then up on the right stick, and then the icon of the receiver you want. And you got to do it twice if you want to get these both manned up. Something like that right there. I just manned them up. That's a lot of buttons to click in a short period of time. I felt kind of bad because I was kind of clunky and rusty earlier out of 335 normal, that I wasn't getting my adjustments super quickly. But to show you guys, that's what it looked like. I can still shade inside if I want by clicking Y, then left on the right stick. I can pass commit, left trigger, up on the right stick, and boom, we now have a really, really good setup to stop something like PA shot wheel. We just have to user this rice position. And to show you guys what this would look like, making sure I got everything. I think I do. Okay, snap, and I just got a user Jerry Rice, and we actually come free also. And that's against 6 people blocked with 3 people blitzing. That is how good this is. You're going to frustrate the absolute hell out of your friends. You're gonna upset them. Super, super good. It's super glitchy. Highly recommend you do this. Now, lastly, for the big nickel over G, it's a 5-man blitz. Something that it's still really good. I don't use it tons, but if I'm in a longer yardage situations, let's say I am in a long yardage situation, long or short, I like to send pressure. That's probably the best way to put it. And you have 2 different options. If you're in long yardage, you pretty much have to play the sticks, which gets your cloud flats to play deeper. That's Y and then left bumper. You're just going to learn that. It just plays the sticks. Or we can play hard flats now, like we talked about, out of the other formation, which is Y, and down on the right stick to play hards. And now they can't dink and dunk us since we're sending so much pressure and hopefully getting in on the QB. We're in a position now where everything hopefully will be covered. So I'll just send out 5 routes here. Kind of like they expect we're sending 3 because we've been sending 3 all the time. We're going to send 5-man blitz now. So I'm still using Dawkins. Back to the generic setup here. I'm going to baseline Y left on the right stick. That base aligns, gets our defense into more of a normal setup. And now I'm going to crash up on the D line, and we don't spy for this one. We are just going to blitz this right linebacker position. You can do it 2 different ways. I usually do it with right bumper twice, and then down on the right stick just to blitz Kraus. Or you can do it a simpler way, which is just right bumper and then right on the right stick. It blitzes that right outside linebacker. It says right of screen outside linebacker. Super simple. Highly recommend you just do the right bumper and then right on the right stick. Don't be stubborn like me and click all these buttons and just to do something that you could have done with 2 buttons. Now, with this, I'm still putting Dawkins on a blitz, and I can do anything I want with Reed. I can put him in a deep blue like this. I can cross man him on X like I do with Moss there. I can do whatever I want. That is up to me. But I just need to make sure that I have this 5-man blitz set up, and hopefully Kraus comes in, or hopefully we get some sort of A gap. We get a really good look at this QB, or get a lot of pressure on this QB. Oh, and I play underneath Y down on the right stick. We talked about that. So I would probably man up Rice. Yeah, I'd probably man up Rice in this situation. I'm just going to use our Brown and Gonzalez. It's my duty to cover this middle of the field. I'll show you my offensive setup. We'll go with something similar, just the most common PA shot wheel setup. And now we are going to see if we get some mega heat on him. Hopefully we do. If we don't, that's okay. It happens sometimes. But snap, hopefully Kraus comes in hot. He doesn't. Oh, but wow, Alan Page on the left side didn't get touched. So we just screamed. And keep in mind, they can't check down. We have hard flats out on the field. If they try to check down, like throwing this Tomlinson route into a hard flat, good luck. You're throwing a pick 6 the other way. That's why we have hard flats out on the field. That's why we play underneath coverage, just then we can take away those flats, take away quick reads when we're getting pressure on our opponents. And when I blitz a lot of people, I like to do that. Now again, if it's a deep yardage situation, let's say it's 4th and 20. It's the same setup. We're just going to base align, crash this D-line up, blitz Kraus, and then let's say we'll put Ed Reed in a deep blue, and now I just want to play the sticks. Y, left bumper, and now we're in a good position to cover everything that's super deep. Say if they did maybe a setup like this, would be a good one for like 4th and 20 or something like that, where they're going to try to hit Moss on this post, but because it's 4th and 20, our cloud is now going to play that Rice crossing pattern. We're playing the sticks. It plays much deeper, and we have a lot of heat being sent at the QB snap. I just got to cover this post, which is going to come late right here. Just make sure they don't throw that, and we get tons of heat with Lawrence Taylor. That's how good the heat is out of this. That is why this playbook, this ebook, this scheme is $20. It's $19.99, and hopefully it is money well spent for you guys, because these blitzes and this defense is just that good. Keep in mind, if you want to go into other stuff, sorry, actually, let me just touch on this quickly. To stop the run better, especially if you're like out of something, like we said to stop the run out of big nickel, I'll just do the same setup that we normally would be doing. To stop the run, you have a few options. If they choose to run the ball, first off, I don't even think they're going to gain a yard. I'll try to I'll try to run right here with Tomlinson. Yeah, he ends up getting bagged because Lawrence Taylor is crashing out wide. But let's say that they are getting good blocks, or that something is happening, that they're able to do this. Oh, I shifted the wrong thing. There we go. That they are torching us on the run. We're still going to do the same defense. Things that you can do to make your run defense better. If you man up your defenders, they play the run better. I don't know why, but they do. Watch my left bumper here. Watch my left bumper. Watch. Oh, whoa. Somehow I manned up Aeneas Williams on the wrong person. But watch Atwater right here. Watch how he plays the run, because he's in man coverage. Watch how everybody plays the run here. Watch how everybody plays the run. They play it the second the ball is snapped. They are just running down the run. If you man people up for some reason, especially safeties, they play the run better. It's weird. I don't get it. It's a huge competitive advantage for you if you are manning people up. Just saying. Definitely something that you want to look into. Also, if I click the right stick in, the second the ball is snapped, I think it should be Atwater here. It should send Atwater at Tomlinson if I click the right stick in. Even though he's in a zone, he's not in a run fit. There we go. We end up actually getting a stop. I think it sent Reed because he's in a zone there. It should be... I felt like it would have been Atwater. Maybe I wasn't watching. It might have been Lott that ended up getting sent. But clicking the right stick in also helps your run defense. In a similar manner to sending that QB spy, if they end up running and you click the right stick in, it should help you run down the run a little bit better. Keep in mind, the way I like to stop the run out of this, it's tough to shoot the gaps out of big nickel, but you don't really need to. It's just to stay deep and stay outside. So say they try to bounce it out wide, and I'll try to do my best to use two controllers here, where they're running way out wide. I want to stay way out wide and just cut this thing back in. It's weird to use two controllers with one hand, but it actually makes things extremely difficult. But just a few tips there with stopping the run. If you're out of 3-3-5 normal, you have to pretty much shoot the gap by coming out wide and then shooting the gap by running inside and hitting an inside zone. It's much harder. That's why I recommend you guys only use 3-3-5 normal against people that primarily are passing the ball. That's why big nickel is definitely the better, more friendly defense for you guys who may be less experienced. Where me, I would say 3-3-5 normal is the better defense. You just need a little bit more skill to run it, honestly. With the spy blitz, with the adjustments, with being able to stop the run, shooting gaps. It's more versatile than big nickel, that's for sure. So, also, shameless plug. We talked a little bit about it in Bengals right here. First off, 4-3 normal. I covered it a little bit in my ebook. You can do anything out of this, and you get the same loop, the same way you set up your big nickel, the exact same. Just run it flipped and crash that D-line up. Spy out the right of screen defensive tackle. It's that simple. You just can't get in safeties at linebacker the way you can on a big nickel, and you're going to play with 3 linebackers. If you're okay with that, do 4-3 normal. You can call anything. You can literally call. You can call cover 9, call cover 6. Well, again, those coverages are kind of broken this year, so I don't like recommending them to people. Cover 3 is fine for the most part. Cover 2 sync. You can call man coverage. You can call a lot of different things out of this without really doing a ton of defensive adjustments other than just crashing your line up and spying your defensive tackle. That's what's crazy about that setup. So if you're looking for that same loop, 4-3 normal does it as well, and it's going to stop the run a little bit better. Also, I have an ebook on the entire 4-6 normal, which is still an incredible scheme. I get into this all the time if I face 2 tight end, if I face other stuff that's that I'm struggling to stop for some reason out of 3-3-5 normal. Like split close, I actually stop split close a little bit better out of 4-6 normal than I do out of 3-3-5 normal, or I stop it okay out of over G. But I like to get in 4-6 normal because I'm still extremely comfortable in that. I sell a whole ebook on it for $7. I cover it exclusively. My 3-man, 4, 5, 6-man blitz setups and how I really get unique and crazy out of that defense, and that was just recently updated in like January. So that is pretty much everything that I run. It's awesome that those 2 ebooks are essentially compatible. You just need Bengals defense, and you can get this 3-3-5 normal and big nickels in almost every formation in the game. It's crazy. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this ebook. Thank you so much. Don't hesitate to comment on this video, and I can try to respond to all comments that are down below. But just make sure you practice this stuff, because that's what's going to end up making perfect. If you take it into an online game, you might struggle, unless if you're relatively familiar with quick adjustments or with certain things that you need to be doing. But I think you guys are going to have a lot of success with this. Thank you so much for trusting in me by purchasing this ebook, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.